What words are worth? Part 5. Money. Fiat. Fiat currency. What is fiat currency? Fiat currency is a piece of paper or coin backed up by nothing but what's on it. Now they work. The early colonial script was fiat currency. It was well regulated. It was well recognized. It wasn't counterfeited. And the British didn't like that, so they made a law that it had to be backed by gold. Well, they didn't have enough gold to represent all the currency they'd made or wanted to make. So there was a depression because they couldn't print any more currency by edict of the king. So fiat currency in itself isn't wrong. It'd be like me printing up IOUs or currency to my neighbors, and everybody in the neighborhood recognizes the value of my signature, and they trade that amongst each other. So the early colonials would, trade the value of the currency. Gold-backed is you can trade your paper in for gold. What you do with the gold, depends on what the value of gold is. So it fluctuates depending on who owns, the gold stocks and who wants to corner the gold market. Whereas fiat currency, as long as it's not counterfeited, someone changing your tire for $5 is always going to be $5. Unless someone comes in and says, "I'll change your tire for $4. You know what I'm saying? Well, now what we got, so those are two kinds of currency. Now, there's asset-based and debt-based economic system. What we have now is a debt-based economy. Our government asks the Federal Reserve to print $100. Federal Reserve prints us $100 of our currency, and we promise to give them $105. So we take $100, pay people to do services for our government, and then at some point in time, we got to give the Federal Reserve $105 back. So more money's coming out of the economy than went out into it. Federal Reserve makes interest printing our money. That started in 1913 with the Federal Reserve Act. Asset-based economy is where we print our currency. We print up $100. We put it out there to have $100 worth of services done for our community, for our nation, and it stays out there. We printed it. You don't have to pay it to anyone. Okay? We got $100 worth of bridge work done. Those bridge workers buy eggs and furniture with that, and it stays out there. Originally, we were supposed to be financed just by federal corporate taxes and fees and stuff. But they jacked around our economy, took over the Federal Reserve in 1913 to stabilize the economy because there was crashes and stuff. Big bunch of theater, the what's that called? The center, the thing that Cheney's involved with, Council on Foreign Relations, the Bilderberg Group, Jekyll Island. They framed the argument, the Federal Reserve Act, there was a Democrat and Republican plan. They were both involved in the Federal Reserve. We didn't need any of them. So anyway, was that 16 years later? See, the Federal Reserve came in, inflated the money supply. We had the Roaring '20s, and then they retracted the money supply. Debts became due. People got, used to the excess. And Bernays got involved with the whole concept of consumerism, selling people stuff they didn't need, making them, selfish and slap happy. And so in 29 we had the big crash, and you know, things got bad for a while, and then we had the World War II, which got us out of the slump. Pretty much the whole world was devastated, and this country is just had, like, you know, the only country that didn't really have any damage at home. We were like in a great situation to rebuild the whole world. And then we took over the third world's resources by coups and things like, what's that called? Confessions of an Economic Hitman, where they oversell the infrastructure improvements on a third world country, and they have to put up their resources for collateral. So, you know, we say, well, we'll take your rainforest. I guess this didn't work out too good for you. Sorry, bud. You know, these people are like a evil Forrest Gump. They keep making mistakes, and gosh darn it, doesn't it always work out good for them? So, so basically, America's working off of a credit card and always paying more for their currency rather than writing their own money. And the politicians can't be trusted. I mean, we were fortunate back in the Age of Enlightenment when this country was started. It was still not too great. I mean, I guess for the time it was pretty good. If you were a white property owner, you know, you did all right. I mean, compared to the way things were, I mean, I'm just trying to be relative and fair. You had to be a nobleman in Old England to have any clout at all. The fact that all you had to be was white and a property owner was quite kind of a stretch. You know, it wasn't perfect, and I'm not saying it was, and you know, but you know, to form a more perfect union, I think it's worth fighting for. You know, freaking gold fringe flag of Admiralty law, it's got to go. I wish people would be going to those flags and trying to get permission to take a razor blade and take those gold fringes off, because symbolism's important. If they don't spend money for gold fringe just because they like it, it means something. It's court-martial authority. So, to recap, asset-based money is where we print our own money and it stays out there. Debt-based money is where the Federal Reserve prints our money and we take more out of the economy than we put in. Peace out.